train the mind like you train the body. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations, JT, for today's match, for win of Silesia Rebels.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Great job. And I would like to make you some questions referring to the game, referring to all the issues, not only during the game but also out of the game, referring to how to prepare yourself. What is the most important issue to prepare yourself for the game?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is actually mentally. I mean, football is a very, very physical game, but preparing yourself mentally, understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish on a given play, whether you're on offense or defense, understanding what the other team is actually trying to accomplish, doing film study and different things like that. I think that's the biggest part of preparation. And then also going into it, understanding, like, burn the script. You know, you may have an expectation for what you think things are going to look like in a game, but realistically, that's just not going to happen. It's about how do you react to those things. So it's good to have, a plan of action. You want to have that, but it's probably not going to go that way. So what do you do after that? And that's pretty important to think about before the game as well.
So it's important to have a plan, but in reality, how you react if something will go, not exactly as we planned before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I've seen you various times that you made really a great leadership speech, Wes. I love it. I love it. So you spoke about the mental part, and I see the leadership from your side. Can you tell me a little bit more about the leadership and how it's important in a team, creating a team?
I think leadership is, as you said, really, really important. I think the most important thing about leadership is leading. It's an action. It's not just talking. Like, people can go in front of someone. If you're a good public speaker, like, anybody can do that. But it's about your actions. People follow people that they can trust, and if they see you doing things that they believe in, then it makes it a lot easier for them to listen to the stuff that's coming out of your mouth. They see what you do first, and then afterwards, they believe what you say.
How you do it? From where it came that you are so good, and you are really creating a motivation. JT, just let us know.
That's a good question. I think it's just, truthfully, I think it comes from caring about people. I really think it does. If you can, being a leader is more about being a servant of the people around you, more than it is about, standing at the top and like shouting down at people. If you're in the trenches with them and, you're working with them, you're putting in literal blood, sweat, and tears with those guys, like, I think that's what it is. And I try to make sure that I do that I show the guys that I care about them. Also being out here in Poland, it's a completely different culture. Doing something as simple as, trying to learn the language. And I mean, I'll never be fluent in Polish. It's extremely difficult. But, like, just showing people that you care about them first. I think that's my approach to it. And I think that's why it's pretty effective, I think.
Yeah, so the care of people, something like, servant leadership.
Yes.
You spoke about this. So this is something what I can see that it's natural for you. But, and then going to the pitch and making a tough game.
Yeah.
So this is really, really important and not and difficult to create.
For sure.
Such kind of I think circumstances that everybody is really involved in the team. So if I would like to ask you for some things the most important in leadership, which kind of in building a team, it's about caring of people, servant leadership. If you think about some 2-3 things most important in leadership, in a sport leadership and leadership itself, what it would be?
Sport leadership and leadership itself. Well, like I said, caring about people and just being a man of your word. I think that's a big thing as well. If you say that you're gonna do something, then do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether you don't feel like doing it anymore. And just having good character. You always know. I have a Coach Swider, my college coach.
Yeah.
He said you always know the true character of a person if you ask them to do something that they don't want to do.
Okay.
And if they can follow through with that, that you got a pretty good person on your hands. I think a good part of, like, being a leader is you just got to be a good person, and a lot of that is backing up what you say. Be a person that is going to do, like, whatever you said, you go ahead and you follow through.
Okay, well, great words. And one advice would you give to the young players?
Yeah.
That are going to the pitch, that are involved in the game one advice, which would be?
Be serious about it. It's a difficult game. There's a lot of preparation that happens before you ever step to the field. You know, if the first time that you're thinking about football, so we practice two times a week, Tuesday, Thursday. If the only time that you're thinking about football is Tuesday, Thursday, that's not enough. It's really not. If you want to be great at the game, you know, if that's your goal, if you want to be great at whatever it is, 2 days a week is not enough. And it doesn't mean that you need to be sitting there for 3 hours in the day, you know, whatever it is. Even if it's just 15 minutes of. But me growing up as a kid, it wasn't even necessarily that I was on the field doing something every day. I was just thinking about football, just watching somebody's highlights, and then I go out and, you know, and like try to replicate whatever it is that I saw on the screen. You know, today, like watching somebody like Lamar Jackson. Obviously, like I'm not as fast as him, and I'll probably never be able to do the things exactly that he does. But I can do my best to try to replicate it. You know, and that's super huge. Like the preparation that happens off the field is even more important than what happens while you're on the field. That's my biggest advice to someone young that's like trying to get into the game. Be a student of the game, and it makes things a lot easier whenever you're out on the field.
Great words. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
JT, Silesia Rebels.
Yeah,
our
of
star.
course.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And train the mind like you train the body. Yeah. Every day, no shortcuts.